Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, welcome to Psy Tai live stream with your host, Captain Naga. Hopefully y'all having a wonderful morning, evening, night, midnight special, whatever time this is coming at you. Take this energy now that we all in the same boat, we can start the conversation. Hey guys, I'm out in good old nature today. Good old nature. After the fire out here in Northern California, it was a 3-day rainstorm immediately after, and then now it's one of the clearest days in a while. One of the clearest days in my mind as well, without having me have to put forth extra effort and use my tools to get past all the stuff that's going on and things like that. But yes, today we're out in nature, and it's going to be like this a little more often, a little more often. You know, it's the rainy season, though. It is the rainy season. But a little sample of what I want to talk about today. I just marathoned the anime called Little Witch Academia, which taught me, well, it, brought to my realization a lot of things that I want to talk about now, because it dealt with magic and energies and beliefs, what you believe in, and a lot of the power of words or the unpower of words, and how it deal more with the feeling, and the words just come second. And that's why you just hear hocus pocus when you are listening to TV and cartoons and they doing spells, and but that made something magical happen. I just want to just tie about all of that, and I just got to say, y'all know, just ties where you combine your mind with your heart, combine those two circles, keep it spinning, and you let whatever come out, it just comes out. That's what just tie is. And also, we do not condone, just in case to go into this, we do not condone the use of illegal or legal drugs on this channel. What you do with your body is what you do. I'm not telling you to go out and do any of these medicines, any of these drugs or illegal substances. All right, so past all of that, so it's this show I ran across on Netflix, and I was under the influence of the shroom too. It was about 12 o'clock at night, and I was like, I need something to watch, and it wasn't enough. I was meditating and everything, so it wasn't enough to like blast off. So I was like, I want to see what's on TV, and I run across this show called Little Witch Academia. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So the synopsis of it is that it's this girl, and I'm gonna break down what I think about it as well. I'm not just gonna just give a straight synopsis of an anime y'all never heard of, but I do recommend that y'all watch it. But it's about a young girl who was a human who used to watch a magician do magic and things for humans, and then she would go back into her world, and it was a world of witches and it was a world of humans. And after a time went by, she was accepted into Luna Academy, which was the Witch Academy, and you had to go through this portal, which was literally a hyperdimensional tunnel, like you hear about people saying the DMT trips or high dose psilocybin trips, where you will literally be in another area of time and place separate from this existence. So that was pretty cool, and something that just tied to my mind as well. I remember reading a story on, I don't know if it was on Reddit or just I'm always researching everywhere to see people's stories, but it was somebody's story on how he was going back and forth into these DMT realms, and he was being taught how to conjure magic powers, and in that realm, like he would meet up with other students, so-called students, and they would like meditate, but when they would meditate, they would actually see auras or orbs and stuff fly around them, and then they had teachers and everything. But he had to keep taking the DMT to get there. That was wild. That was a wild thought that's always in the back of my mind. But overall, in Little Witch Academia, they transfer through this hyperdimensional tunnel, and they get to the other side, and then she's part of the academy, which she's the only human, which makes me think about us, like how we're just humans, and it's probably these other species, not species, but other advanced beings out there that have little more knowledge, so much that they're able to manipulate and do these practices like I was going on. But she makes it to the academy. She makes it to the academy, and she don't know any magic. She doesn't know any magic, period. And plus, she has this like go attitude where her big dream is just to be like somebody else. That was her whole motivation of going there. She wanted to be like somebody else that she saw performing magic. And then she goes along. She goes to the school. Let me turn all the way around. I'm on a bench, so I have my legs all crossed up, but so y'all can get this view. But overall, she goes to the academy, and they learn stuff like the tree of life and the Kabbalah and things like that I've been wanting to talk about, like real life alchemy stuff. And I'm talking about how directors and creators, how they put out esoteric messages, and everything down to cartoons. I think most of all cartoons and animation, but I believe it's in everything. Like they want to say it, but they don't want to come off as crazy, and they want to make a living, or this was their calling or a destiny, or so to speak, to make this film so that it can reach millions of people and inspire people here and there and here and there. But the main thing I wanted to talk about topics, because the synopsis of it is pretty long, is that the girl archetype in animes, and definitely with magic, when it deals with magic, if you talk about Sailor Moon and just a lot of animes where the girl is the main character, but it deals with magic most definitely. I believe that's because that's the feminine spirit that they trying to wake up in a lot of people. That feminine creative side, that's dormant, that just likes to go out and do stuff. But the story, they always play the girl because we all get distracted by outside things. We all get distracted. And like she just wanted to be like the other person, but by the end of it, she saw that the more that she was herself, the more she was able to unlock more of her abilities and actually perform magic. Like she had I'm skipping around right now, but she had a rod where she was able to have music. I mean, not. She had a rod where she was able to perform magic, and it was made up of 7 stars. I think of the 7 Palladian stars in the constellation and stuff like that. But past that, she had to come up with the words on her own, but the words were only given to her through certain experiences, and even the experiences she didn't even know what she had to go forth. So this just was reminding me of life, of just diving deep into things with full on heart and full on emotions. And definitely in the psychedelic realms where everything, your emotions is on heightened sentence, because just talk about science and stuff, it activates your amygdala, which controls your emotional response. So if you're happy about something, if you seen a happy face, you're gonna be happy. If it's fearful, you're gonna face that fear, and you're not gonna be able to say, I want to tuck this away into my closet for another time. So the animes, I believe they always so hype, and cartoons are always so extra, because that's how we really are. We are extra, but we don't like to expose and be vulnerable to ourselves to that degree because of life. How life has us trained to not to be to always have a kind of sour thumb about things, like, oh, this probably gonna happen, or they gonna think this about me, or I hold a similar thought pattern, so I know what they're gonna say and stuff like that. But we gotta not hold we gotta recognize that we hold similar thought patterns, and then break that pattern and think for ourselves. And then we'll start coming up with our own language to activate our own magic. And it comes from the realm of feelings. I believe experiences really bring that out. Because you can tell somebody something and they really won't understand it. They'll get something, but I believe talking is just seeds. Talking, anybody like me, just talking, I'm just planting seeds out there. I'm just planting seeds. It's something that's going to already see the tree. And it is some that's going to just take the seed, and they're going to water it with their own knowledge, and with their own experiences, and then it's going to grow up, and then we're going to see that we all on the same page in the end. That's the magic thing to me. It's how we all on the same page. But hopefully I can stay on the same page with this message right now, I'm trying to say. But oh, I didn't see this. Hey Liz. Zobaka. I probably butchered that. Hey Liz. But the archetype of the girl in the anime, and us going out there and just going for it, I believe that's in all of us. And it's the male they do that because this world is driven by the male driven ego, and that spirit that came and into humans and wanted to just control things and just rule in this domain as if this is all that exists. And how that played off in the anime was technology. Like, technology was the opposite of the witches, and they were all straight businessmen and things like that. And they worked with the witches, but they did it mostly for political reasons, because they said they can use their backup support in the future for some reason. But the big thing in the story of Little Witch Academia was that magic was supposedly dying in the real world, and technology was overpowering things like that, and people wasn't taking hold to the traditions of nature and things like that and replacing it with technology. That was a big thing that was in there. And I see that in our own culture, just point blank period, and not even pointing a finger of who has an iPhone and who has this TV and this TV, but the emotional factor that goes with it, that we let it rule our lives and let it point us and let it point the direction of our future. We letting the technology point our future instead of letting our hearts and Mother Earth, Gaia, do his own plan, which is what it's going to do anyway, which is another fear. Not a fear, but something that's probably going to happen, that eventually Mother Nature is going to clear herself out. And human with their own intellect probably not going to make sense to them, but it makes sense. It's just what happens. Nature always finds her way. Y'all know Jurassic Park. That saying went through my head when he said nature always finds her way, or his way. I haven't stopped putting pronouns on things. But yeah, but the thing, it was a guy that reminded. I just keep talking randomly about the show, but it was a guy in the show that reminded me of myself back in the day, of seeing the importance of technology and being business-like and cutthroat, like, oh, we have to operate like this because times is changing, and to think all of these silly thoughts is to not be progressive enough to survive in this reality. And if y'all, the dark occultists in this world, that's what I believe they have us, well, that's what I know they have us believing. And our belief is what's going to create their realities for ourselves. Like, we are the engines for this reality, and the more people that's tying or just thinking about the same things, those thoughts are going to actually condense into this reality. And these people out there, or forces that know these things, they're using us and making us come up with and making it think that we're doing it ourselves. And it's these ideas of social Darwinism, that everything has to progress based off of survival of the fittest, and we see that all the time. Like, if you're not strong enough, you're going to get weaned out, and the strong survive, the weak die, and just all the way down to even how we look at ourselves. And we beat ourselves up because we don't think that we're good enough. We really don't think that we're good enough to carry on certain abilities that are innate in us, that are just built into our DNA. But y'all hear the scientists say a lot of our DNA is not activated, is not to use. But I believe through epigenetics and these experiences of actually being happy and opening up our minds to what magic really is and to who we really are and things, we'll start changing our DNA and activating things in us. There's science going around. Dennis McKenna, I listen to Dennis McKenna a lot, and he was talking about how 5-MeO DMT and DMT and mushrooms, which has phosphorus DMT in it, conjures homeostasis in your hippocampus and neurogenesis in your brain. So literally that means that parts of our brain are growing. Our brain is really growing. Our different neurons is being activated and connecting in ways so that it's not connecting to trauma so that literally you're not a trauma-based computer system or a trauma-based person. You're a person that can now experience what you wish to experience instead of living in a control-based experience. And if y'all tie on, if y'all was there for the Psy Tai podcast where I was talking about darkness and its introduction to man, it always comes, it, it pierces into man when it comes into jealousy, when it comes into jealous, into not thinking that we're good enough. And like I said, it all starts with ourselves. Like we don't think that we can do certain things because we say that, oh, this person was built for this, and I was meant to just watch this person do this while I sit back and watch them on the TV and and waste my life away, but feel as though I'm doing something because I'm watching it and I'm getting all the contact from it, the contact high. The contact high only works for a little bit. I like watching people do amazing things as well, but also I like getting my ass off the couch and doing things. I think that's the secret of balance, because you don't want to beat yourself up and be like, I don't want to ever watch TV ever again, because I don't know. For me, it's like I'm everything. So I created. I want to see what my reflections are doing from time to time, because that see what myself is up to, and if it's something I don't like in myself, then that's something I just go and meditate on. I'm like, I'm just going to change that around. I'm just going to change that around. That's in my subconscious. That's how it is with. I don't mean to break to the conversation, but that's how it is with Trump and everything. Like Trump is every so-called villain is our manifestation, just boiled down and condensed into one being, instead of it being separate personalities just jumping out here and there from this person. No, it's just all embodied in one person. And still, Trump is not the ultimate. There's still some things that need to be worked out in us. But once you see it, the thing is not to embrace it and or get angry at it. Like what was happening in Little Witch Academia was the person created technology. It was this grand witch that knew a lot about magic and things like that, but she was upset because she wasn't chosen to have the shiny rod or something. That was the staff with the seven stars that was able to unlock more of your abilities. So she went into the field of technology, and she was really, really smart. She had a strong intellect, but her basis now was for control. So she eventually, over years, invented these machines that, towards the season finale, gained their strength off of gathering the hate and jealousy built off of regular so-called human beings. So she would go to a rally of a soccer match, and there was people just arguing over what team was going to win, and she was able to get energy off of that. So just tie about that. Like I believe it's forces, it's people creating rituals, or forces using people to create rituals so they can come to this dimension, and they like, all right, this hate is going on over here. So once you do this, it's going to be able to suck this energy up, and now you have that power to do this. And that's exactly what she was doing. She said people going to know what magic is, because she was mad at the other technology people, the business guys that I was mentioning before, for just not liking witches and saying magic is old school. What's the use of magic and stuff when you can have technology to replace it? And she's like, no, we can synthesize magic and with technology, and we can come and do more amazing things. But the thing about it, she had this anger build up inside of her, which I always say watch out for, because that's how you go into the Sith, and that's what I found myself going to. That's what these dark occultists are. So they know what's going on in this reality, and they want to use these forces for themselves and just let the petty humans be so-called petty humans, because the strong is going to survive. The strong is going to survive, and self-preservation is over everything else. That's one of the main tenets of Satanism, is self-preservation. So know that they know. But in this academia, she was literally using this hate to do everything, because she was jealous of herself. So she was feeding off of other people's jealousies and things, and it worked. And she had this proper name for it, and she said it was something called something fueled spirit, but it was able to feed off of anything, like I was saying, all the hate and things. And when I look out in our world, I just see, I'm like, why is hate or just picking at people, or like, I know picking at like on the highest level, when you're able to be a comedian, you're able to see rise above a lot of your own insecurities so that you're able to evolve from that. But just the simple act that in this world, a lot of just making fun of other people is the main promotion, or violence is the main promotion. Like, you could get the message out, but it gotta be an extra violence in there or something like that, or cause, I don't know, something that, anything that causes division, all this racism and things like that. And the way that people are trying to solve racism by causing more racism, it's something out here that's just that just keeps fooling man into not ever knowing himself. And these plant medicines really bring you back. They brought me back to, they pressed the reset button, where then you got to rebuild yourself back based off of now these higher laws, which were always present, but we just didn't have a lot of people just didn't have a clue of it. And then when you start getting a clue, you get the wrong clues. It's like going down the rabbit hole. You really have to go all the way down the rabbit hole, because it's different levels. It's different levels. And with it depending on what level you on, that's your level, that's your awareness. And everything is always okay. Everything is always good. But when we start moving up and moving into our higher selves, whatever that may mean, it means that we're going to have to start really paying attention to what those laws are, because whatever law you're obeying, that's the realm of reality you live on. That's why you hear rebels and stuff and anarchists saying, from time to time, when it comes to governmental laws, say, I don't live under your laws. I don't live under nothing that you saying, because how I feel is different. And just with that play, y'all could see, just keep telling how it can go either or, the anger side or really communication, and get everything all tied together. And just tying on these straps. But the gorgeous thing about it was, she was, another cool thing about it was, about the show that it showed me, was the power of words, and how I was saying she had to get the experience in herself so that she can conjure up these words. And I was just about, I know, talking about, just laughing about True Life, how he was saying everything you see is hocus pocus. Everything you see is because somebody put a spell out there, and the words don't really mean nothing. The words don't really mean nothing. But to sum all of this up, it was a big climax of them coming together, and then the people turned from rallying against each other to promoting the which the to keep going. Like, their motives all changed, and it didn't need technology to be converted to anything. It just happened naturally through the air, through the ethers, through their own power. They did, and they were able to destroy the machine that the hate had created. Because eventually, if you want to talk about, go to the story, the machine created its own, it collected so much hate that it overpowered the witch that thought that she was doing something about the situation. In past, she said, I didn't know that humans had this so much inner hatred in them. So the machine then took on a mind of its own, out of the control of the witch that built it. So it was just like, I'm gonna destroy everything. That turned into his main objective. I'm about to just eradicate all of humanity and destroy everything for whatever reason that it had. And if y'all talk about what I was talking about before with the Yu-Gi-Oh, and just in our own lives in general, that it's a force out here that just wants to destroy. And that's point blank period, just wants to destroy. And it tricks man into thinking that it needs it, when really we don't. We can just live out naturally in nature. That's why I hear all these people coming out with all these weird ideas of like, we need to change our diet, and we need to do this, and we need to change up and do things like that, because a lot of people are just getting hip to the senses of what's going on. And and knowing that we don't need to go forth with anger in order to change things, or go forth with this sense of belief that we're not it, and that we have to give our force up to something else to in order to save us, or bring forth a clearer picture, or things like that. And something, oh no, I got some more things I wanted to bring up about belief and our control and who we really are. um we're we're mostly made out of bacteria, if you tie about that. And bacteria, we're mostly made out of bacteria, and the way that bacteria behaves. Bring this back a bit. Think about the hive mind and birds and everything, how they all, if you see a flock of birds, they all just moving all together. They never really hitting each other. They just all a huge mob just flowing and going and doing what they do. But and it all seems to all be together. Get together. Or like ants, how it seems like they're all individual, but they will all gang up on somebody, or they all come together to perform specific goals that not just that one ant was able to do, but it seems though they all working together yet individually. And how, and they saw, and scientists, they see how ants and different animals that work on a hive set of mind, they work based off of what, yeah, a hive set means that whatever one person is thinking, or whatever the set is thinking, that's what they all doing. And what scientists observe is that this whole set will gang up on another set if they feel as though they have to. If they feel as though that they have to, because of they fighting for water or food or something that they not up, that they don't have, that they're not sustained on, they don't really have ready available. And so scientists were seeing how bacteria behave exactly like this. They'll gang up on other bacteria, or that's how we get sick or not sick and things like that in this physical realm of reality. So just tie about how we're I don't know the numbers, I'm throwing it out there, but I know it's above 75%, so I'm gonna say like 80% or something, 85%, we're bacteria. So that's all these different consciousness all moving around, and we're just a little part, like 20% of that. So tie about where our emotions really come from, and why we have to connect with nature, and like stay away from antibacterial soaps and things like that, because they kill off the good bacteria that we need. And I believe they really control our emotions, because they are part of our emotions. Not because the sense of control that we think is way different. I believe emotions and things that exist in reality, when we see something, is a symbiosis of a whole lot of things already coming together and then presenting themselves that way. But when you really like go real into something, you see this world, then you go even deeper, you get that world, and go even deeper, that world, then you go out, you get this, and out, and then that. And that makes so much sense. Because in the Wrinkle of Time book, the second one, I talked about this before, is they go inside of, I was about to say Charlie Rose. Who the heck is Charlie Rose? I don't know. Charlie Murphy. Not Charlie Murphy. Well, the boy name was Charlie, and they went inside his DNA. They actually went inside his DNA, and they was tagging along archangels and this other mouse that was doing his training in order to evolve along the evolutionary terms of consciousness and things like that. But they all met up inside of this guy's DNA, because they said the fate of the world lies within his DNA, his mitochondria, and it was this whole world of Fernand delay and things like that. I'm not gonna really go real deep into that right now. I believe everything, going back to Mother Nature, and eating more plant-based diets and things, and probiotics, things that are more probiotic will help us have better, just help everything in us, instead of just thinking about us, instead of just, and it goes real deep when you think about what I mean about us, because the world will have you say something about what us is, and then what I really mean is something different about us, because the us that the world has you think about is just the you that thinks is wearing the clothes, that thinks that is has this job, or even that thinks that is riding the bike. Like if you ride a bike, it's not just you ride. It's not just what the world thinks is riding a bike. It's the collectiveness of everything riding a bike. I know this sounds wild. uh, uh, yeah, man. When you really push to a certain point, you can't help but talk like this. Because when you try to dumb yourself down, not dumb yourself down, oh no, you just seem silly. But silly is a way to go. Silly is a path, and that's why I love tying about animations and anime, and mangas and cartoons and stuff, because the way I believe a way that is served the message of the mushroom of us is going to get past that barrier that was created by whatever forces out here. One of the paths to like trick it is to literally play with it and to literally make it laugh or make it think it's something that's so silly that haha that can't be true. Yeah, manga. Yeah, hey, well, Adams, thanks for joining. Manga is the best. I've always been into manga since middle school, but I never knew how important it was until the church tried to not make me read them anymore. Then I really started reading that Naruto. But uh, what was I talking about? Let me readjust. Hey, psychedelic L. Hey, yeah, let me know y'all here. Let me know y'all here. It changes, it boosts me up. It makes me like, oh yeah, psychedelic L got to make it. UL got to make it. Charlie Man got to make it. And this is a community. This is a community. Like if y'all have any questions at any time, just if y'all new to this live stream, just throw them at me. Ask them at any time. We can. As I started this, I say we're going to start the conversation. That's just my play on words on starting a conversation. And the title's blah blah blah. Y'all know I'm not talking to fools. But yeah, that's what I was saying about comedy. I think that's a way that surpasses that thing that's driving, that thinks that is controlling the game. It's because like, oh, that can't be true. There's no way. It's no way, man. So it hears it because everything that we hear and see becomes us, and it's somewhere deep in our minds. I remember during the LSD experience, it wasn't even during microdose too. I was like, wow. I just turned around to my friend. I was like, everything that everybody ever told you made you who you are right now, made me who I am right now. Every good, every bad thing. And that's why it's up to me to see everything that was said and not beat myself over it, but say, oh wow, this is how I took that. Oh, that was said about me. All right, now let's convert that energy that's been driving certain things and certain impulses in me and change that around and do this with it now. So that is most true to me. That is what is most true to me. Everything that we see makes us. So the passes the ego by saying, because if you was just talking, or if I was just bringing this up to a random person, they'd be like, all right, can we just talk about something else? Or I don't want to hear that right now. And then it won't be heard. It literally won't be heard. So it's not created in their reality. That was never heard. But with the animations and with the manga and things like this that I'm talking about, is listened to and laughed at. And even if it's played off as, oh, that was just a sci-fi, that's just science fiction, it still got to you. It still got to you. And with me, it bubbled up until, whoosh, this is real. Wow, Star Wars. Wow, this is what they meant. Wow, 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 wow. And that's why, and as simple as that. Simple as that. But once it bypasses that mind, it's able to that seed is planted. And I believe that's the ultimate way of getting these messages out, even with art. Even with art, the message is just able to be appreciated. Real fast. What happened? Yeah, if you let Adam say, yeah, if you let the world, they will shape you like clay. How do you find ways to reshape yourself other than entheogens? About nature. Just coming out in nature. Just coming out in the park. And why I like parks is because it's all you can say that you know the path, but then you can like take a little divergent from there and say, I'm gonna walk this way this time and run across a whole new set of experiences. And the way the park and the forest is played for me is that it's all about how you want to play it. Like you could be the person that come and say, all right, what's going on? All right, tree, another tree. Or you come to the park and say, all right, I want to get my jog in. I'm gonna just jog through this park. Or you can sit and meditate and sit and say, wow, I created all of this. This is cool. I am that green. I like how I turn from that green to that light green, and then I slowly turn to that yellow. Oh, it's fall. It's the fall now at the park where I'm at right now. Oh, these are the emotions that I'm feeling, like things, I'm able to let things go. And just seeing how I really am. And they try to see how I really am. If that makes, if I'm making as much sense as I can out of it while I'm looking at this tree. That's what I'm looking at right now. And as well, the random people, like sometimes I run across more like-minded people when I'm at the park. Like they'll probably be sitting there looking at the water too. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Or I don't know, sometimes they have a joint and they're like, hey, I'm talking about one time back there. And somebody said, hey, you want to smoke this? Hey, it's just cannabis, right? Yeah, but Adam say, yeah, use it as a mirror, the ultimate mirror. Because the city is good, because I'm from Philly, so I had a lot of reflecting in the city. Hey, Brandon, what's going on, Hardcastle? What's going on? I grew up doing a lot of different type of reflections. Like when I first started, wow, the spider really made a web right where, let's see if I can get this. Right on my bike that fast. There he goes. Can y'all see that? He's moving real fast, so I can't get focused on him. But he's that little smither walking around. But he formed the web from there to my bike like that fast. Like, what are you doing, little spider? I wish I could show them to you, but you just look like a little blimpy blimp. At least you made it. Oh, sorry, my consciousness is just doing this thing right now. Oh, alright. But, yeah, just the random things you run across. Just get more lessons. And yeah, that's what I was saying. Is that I got, yeah, you're well, I feel you. Oh, I'll reflect you. Catch your reflections on everything, reflect on. It's fractions. I was gonna say fractions. It's fractals. But yeah, I used to reflect a lot because I'm from the big city. I'm from Philadelphia, so I had a lot of time to see the reflection of me that is the city, and see a lot of things in myself that I had to change in myself. So, going out in different environments, nature is nature. Like nature is nature. And it's going to find a way to talk to you. Like the one tree that was outside my house. It was a real lonely tree. It said it talked a lot about. It talked a lot. But it also kept me inspired because I was like, wow, this tree is still actually existing amongst all of this chaos, amongst all of this murder. And I was from the projects, people get shot up a lot, killed even by cops and things like that. So it was many layers of what that tree was experiencing and what the people around them was experiencing, but being so immune to it that they let it shape them. And then they just continued on from there. But yeah, I appreciate art. I'm just going back. I appreciate art and comedy and manga and all these things for being able to grasp man's attention to the point that they were able to plant these seeds, and for a lot of people continue to water them. Like it's some people like me. I'm about to be 27 on December 8th. I'm an adult and I'm still watching these cartoons and mangas and things faithfully more than I even watch real people. So, and there's people even that's been watching um, that's been with the Marvel universe and things like that since the 70s and dealing with entheogens and just experiencing life in general. So their minds and how they see reality and their awareness of reality is even on a more upper scale. So it's a lot of people out here that I wish to just communicate to, because I want to keep evolving in my own consciousness as well. I believe you just keep level out. I'm just seeing like a video game. You just keep leveling up when you meet like this character, but you would have never met this character if you would have never ran across that character first, because this character was breeding you for this character. It's all fun. It's all fun. It is scary. It is quite scary because going into the forbidden zone, the so-called forbidden zone, has been made so-called forbidden so much that we're scared of ourselves. And the only thing that's the only thing we, when it comes down to it, we're inherently scared of is figuring out who we really are. And that makes no sense. It makes no sense to really be scared of figuring out who we really are. Do you find every veil you pass through, you always see more that can be inner overstood? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I was trying to read that too logically. Oh, do you find every veil you pass through, you can always see more that can be outer overstood? Yes. That's why I like the analogy of the actor and the producer, and then it's the director, and then it's probably the creator of the book that the director got inspired off of. And y'all know how books go a lot deeper than the movies do, but yet the director still feels so much inspiration when he making that and thinks he's getting the exact same message out, but it's just on another level. And then that producer change and say, oh, we need this object here so that this can like be a subliminal message for this. They working around on their level to get those things out. And then it's the actor remembering the roles, remembering the words and the language to translate the message, always starting from the book, or even go past the book. The person that was writing the book was getting it from realms. Just reality period. He's getting that from other realms, from his higher selves and stuff like that. But going all the way back down, the actor is translating the language and just doing the motions, and then capturing the emotions and translating that through the motions, moving around, their facial expressions and things like that. Like the best actors have the best facial expressions and are able to bring forth that emotion that the director was trying to get out of them. Yeah, fractals are the same, but from different perspectives and levels. Different angles that eventually you see is all the same angle. It's all the same angle. It's something big that I can leave this off on. Gauge. I really want to leave this for another one. I don't know, but it's some. Yeah, I'll start this off again and just tie deeper later in it because I'm gonna have to cut this off soon. But gauge symmetry and how I don't how did I see it in my head? Yeah, gauge symmetry is something that quantum mechanics deal with and that physicists talk about on a daily basis, and they see this as like the most important thing, like the basis of everything else that they do is based off of. And what that means is gauge symmetry is how everything is going to play, is going to have, is going to find its balance. Like how we talking about how everybody was right. Like the actor is right, he got that message out, but the director probably saw something else, but was just happy that the actor was able to get this much of the message out, but it had their own levels, but they all right. Like, look at that as gauge symmetry. They all right. And to bring this, what the physicist was saying, he correlated it to sea levels and how we say Mount Everest is this high above sea level. But if you really look at it, there's no sea around Mount Everest. So this sea level is something that's far away. And we just like estimate to say, all right, this is what the sea level would be right here. And this is just this much above sea level. So sea level is a relative term. So that's it ties into that. But the main thing about what I got out of it, well, main thing, it was all main to me, but what I got about atoms when you get to the quantum world is how they have a spin, and how a lot of things take 360 degrees in order for it to rotate on its axis and for you to see its beginning again. And that's how we see things in this 3D dimension. But he was saying when you go to the quantum level, I believe though when you go to the quantum level, which we measure, we're not able to see it. I believe you're able to see it through entheogens. Can't prove it, but I believe you can, or through high states of. Early today I got, it's about and all the spoke of the. Early today I got is about knowing all you spoke of the will. Wait, can you rewrite that again? But yeah, on a quantum level, they said elementary particles have different spins to them, so that when you turn them 360 degrees, you don't return back to the point that you was at. It takes more axes of rotation in order to come back to where you were, and that these particles that are spinning in 360 are being on another realm led by these objects that take 740 or 720 degrees of rotation in order to complete their spin. And that's what we all are all made out of, all at the same time, of these 3D particles. It gets real trippy. It gets real trippy. Theoretical physics, I believe, is like one of the coolest sciences, and that's actually what I wanted to become, as opposed to an experimental physicist. I wanted to be a theoretical physicist. But overall, yeah, I don't have the cup thing, but they said it does a motion. Like, say I'm holding this like this. I can't. Then this is now a 4-dimensional object. I can't turn my hand. Wait, if I try to turn it 360, I can't do it because my head. This is still part of the object. It won't allow me to turn all the way around. So in order for it to turn all the way around, it has to go up. Wait. How did it go? Go up, around, and then it can travel 740 degrees. I know it's a lot. I'm trying to describe this with a leaf. I wish I had a bottle. It'd be more definitive. But it's just saying how everything is playing its part. And the particles that we see and what we see in this reality is being pushed and moved by energy and forces that we can't see. And that they have different rotation and spin. It's just a lot. Just things that I like to tie. Just things I like to tie about. Alright, but hold on. Yeah. I actually gonna go do some exploring in the woods right now and do some. It was just a rainstorm after, and it's about 50, 60 degrees. Throwing out a bunch of little hints out there. So I'm gonna go around the woods, look around some dead logs and things like that, just to see what species popped up, see who wants to talk and does what. So if y'all have any more questions before I go, I'll be happy to tie about them with y'all. Other than that, I think I'm gonna start heading out pretty soon. It's family about to go by. And yeah, I guess the last message I could say real fast is about the destructive but cleansing fire. Yeah, I was on one of the things that popped in my head. I think it was meaning the wheel of reality. Wait, I was on one of the things that popped in my head. I think it was meaning the wheel. Yeah, the wheel of reality. I'm with that. It just came to my head before I go about these fires and the cleansing and destructive fire, nature of fire. And I should know because I'm mutable fire. Like my Sagittarius realm, my Sagittarius nature is mutable fire, being able to change and adapt and things like that. Adapt to new ways of feeling. And I believe fire does that because y'all know that big destructive fire that happened in Paradise was not too far from me. It was about a 20-minute drive. I could drive 20 minutes and I would be where that whole town is no longer because of how the fire that occurred. And I'm not going to get into all the conspiracies, because if I do, that would be his own video, because it was just the town that was destroyed, not really the trees in the surrounding area that much. But there was a lot of people that lost a lot of things, and even in the Malibu homes. And there was a lot of people that had a lot of money. Like Paradise was not a cheap town. It wasn't a town for low-income people to strive in or even really exist in, because there wasn't no stores to really bum out at or markets. You know how it is, how you can find your way wherever. It really wasn't, unless you were just living out in the woods. Be right back. The show's also. Hope to see you soon. All right, Psychedelic Ill. Thanks for tuning in, bro. Or sis. I don't know. Never established that. But yeah, they had a lot. They had a lot. And a lot of people I know out in Paradise at least are able to adapt. I don't know, hopefully are able to adapt, because with dispossession and a lot of things that we build up in this life, we're not going to really be able, they don't last forever. They really don't last forever. And we say these things until stuff happens, and then it's all gone, and we upset. And we either going to be upset, or we're going to or not get over it, or we're going to learn from this experience. Jupiter is in Sagittarius right now as well. So the time for wisdom is now. And time to learn from our experiences and then go forth in the future with a clear mind and revelation about what happened is going to be better, or else Jupiter is going to make us right now learn the bad way. So if we regretting stuff, or like really being pissed off, no matter how big the situation is and stuff, we're going to see how big of a tantrum we didn't have to throw. Like we didn't have to go that far. But reacting to losing things, whatever that case may be in this life. Because it's wild how it happened. Because this water, the rain, it doesn't rain in Northern California for months. And then it'll just rain for days upon days. The rain that happened this year that I recorded, I'm gonna make a video for it, so if y'all want to sleep to it, because I like to sleep to rain noises since it doesn't rain, helps me sleep, so it can help others. But it dropped the same time last year, like around the 23rd. It dropped around the same time last year, the 21st or something like that. So it was this dry last year. So it's like how the universe makes like stuff to happen. Like this fire, if a fire was bound to happen, no rain was bound to come. Or if it was to come, if we knew how much power we had in ourselves, we would be able to do amazing things like that, I believe. But since we don't, and we're not, since we're not connected to that reality, the rain literally came after all the damage. As if on this higher plane, it was like, and for a while, even after the fire, in Chico, the air quality was horrible. You couldn't breathe. We had to stay in the house and things like that. So, and when you go outside, it literally was dark. Like, I know I get feelings from everything. So, the color outside was always foggy. It was always misty. And so I see that that was the atmosphere of the environment at the time. And then the rain just came. And the rain for 3 days straight. The rain just fell, and it just came and washed it all away. And it helped out the fires. And when I mean it rained, it created whole creeks and things like that, where you just was seeing rock beds, and now it's all many creeks. It just was storming. And I see that as like washing, it's a washing, it's a cleansing. It's a cleansing. And if you rocking with nature, that's the nature, that's you just saying, all right, we've been through this, and now it's just time to just wash away and keep on going. Keep on going with the knowledge, with the newfound knowledge. Not go with the depression or go with the traumatized, but with the newfound knowledge that those things wasn't going to exist forever in the first place. Or that you still here to learn something. You don't have to start all over again, like die and come back again. But you still have a chance right now to take this dramatic experience and learn from all the intricacies that dramaticism brought out. Because you know, when things are dramatic, that means that this has happened and this brought out that, and then this happened and this happened and this happened. All those things that was bringing out is all skeletons or I just say skeletons, so that's just my term, but all the skeletons that now you're able to deal with. So that's what I believe, this whole campfire and fire things, man. A lot of people lost their lives as well, just running away. So rise in peace to them. Rise in peace to them. But everything is for us to learn. And with that, guys, I think I'm gonna head out of here. Make sure you, if y'all want to like this video, please like it so that so I can just know, and it will help push it out on the YouTube algorithm so that it can appear to more people. If y'all want to just so the message can get out there. Or if y'all want to play another part is just sharing this video, it will help a lot to get started in a conversation so that people can wake up, or just spread some more seeds. Spread some more seeds. You will say, you ever read I'm tongue-tied right now. But the Tao, I have not read it, but I've read another book on the way of the Tao, and besides experiencing the Tao, well, you can't experience, because once you think you experience it, it goes back. I'm just trying to tell you what I know about. I've listened to tons and tons of Alan Watts talk about it. He's the one that got me introduced to that Pacific term and thing. I listened to tons and tons of Alan Watts talk about those kind of things. Hey, you back? Hey, Psychedelic L. You're back. Alright, guys, you made it back just in time. I'm just about to head out of here. But yeah, we could tie about the towel and everything. Yeah, man, reading those books was so trippy. So reading the towel books and reading was always so trippy, because I'll be like, what? It's just hard for me to talk about a lot of things, because I don't care about the pride factor. Like, yeah, this is who I am. But I do like, whatever, bro. I'm overthinking things. When I would read those things, it would be trippy, because it'd be like, yo, this is what I'll be acting like. But something else be switching me to act like something else, or a thought will pop up. Or since I wasn't able to translate it into words all the time as they were, or it had other people to say, oh, this is the way things were, I was waver from it or something like that. I look at them as just cool people. It's cool people, cool reflections. Like, everything is me. Everything is you. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm gonna go do some exploring because I had to go back and pick up my daughter in about an hour, and I want to experience the woods. I think I'm gonna I gotta make it to the bike store as well so I can get her out here and fix the other bike so we can both come back out here. But right now I want to get some alone time with the trees and things like that. So thanks for hopping in and tying with me, Psychedelic Ill, Uel, Brandon, and I'm trying to get to the first one. They won't let me get to the first person, but I believe it was Liz. Yeah, thanks, Liz, for all coming in and conjuring up this conversation. And all would not have been possible without y'all, and to even the people that's going to be watching this in the future. Yes, I'm talking to you. So I'm going to leave y'all with this, man. We all tie. But do we really tie? Sometimes. I don't know, dude. Sometimes. I really don't know. Till next time, it's Captain Naga. Just saying tie. Always.